and welcome back. I'm Dr. Munjal Thakar from Similia, the Classical Homeopathy Clinic. We operate in Ahmedabad and in Mumbai. Today, I am going to share with you a very interesting book, which for me has been for several years a desktop referral guide. And that is this book called Success versus Joy by Geet Sethi and Sunil Agrawal. Unfortunately, this book is no more available as a hard copy, but yes, it's available on the Kindle copy. Now, there is a story to this book that I would like to share with all of you. I'm going to speak very little about the content of the book. I'm just going to give you a guideline on this. And the story goes like this. This is somewhere around in 2004, late 2004, where the publication of this book was announced. It was around that time that I was in my very early days of practice, and I had chosen to practice homeopathy sheerly for the joy of clinical medicine. And this was done to the disappointment and the displeasure of thy father, especially when I did get an admission into Tata Institute of Social Science, and I did not go and pay the fees because I wanted to pursue clinical medicine, and that too with homeopathy. And so I had chosen a difficult path. And by 2004, it was really dawning upon me as to how difficult this path is. While I did enjoy every patient that I saw and every work that I did with homeopathy, the difficult part was the success part of it. Well, all of my young homeopathic colleagues would know that it isn't very easy for the young homeopath to experience success that easily, and one really needs to strive. And while I was on the struggle path at that time, and this book was announced, and I could immediately resonate with the title of this book, Success versus Joy. So I went out to purchase this book, and I happened to read this book, and I yearned to meet the champion, Geet Sethi. Now, I was new in Ahmedabad, and little did I know that the champion was staying pretty close. The office was pretty close by to where I stayed and practiced. And interestingly, I told one of my patients in a conversation, a very casual conversation, that someday I would like to meet him. And to my very pleasant surprise, this patient got an appointment for me to go and meet the champion. And this was absolutely overjoyed situation where I thought, I'm going to meet this man, and he would just maybe just spend 10-15 minutes saying a hi, hello. I really did not know what I'm going to talk. And as I entered the office, met him, and the conversation went on flowing, and I thought he would tell me to leave in the next 10 minutes, but the conversation went in for 3 long hours. And this has been one of the most interesting conversations in my life. What I remember, and interestingly, I have this copy that is really signed by the champion, and I met him exactly on 11th of January 2005, and it's now been 11 years, and it's quite hazy, the picture of this conversation and the memories of the conversation. But what I distinctly remember is me asking him, hey Geet, how do you deal with the politics that's going around you? Because that was a very difficult part for me to deal in my own profession. And then he gives me this very mind-blowing answer, which has stuck with me, and it has guided me all along. And he told me, look, this is like a billiard table. three different balls which you have to pocket, and each one needs a different technique. It's all about an ego. And this answer really struck me so hard that this man could see the ego and how it interfered with his billiards, how it interfered with his use of the cue and to pocket the ball. And somewhere around this time, in my struggle with homeopathy and the cases that I was going through, I was beginning to realize that it is your state of mind that is becoming a hindrance through to your own faculties. And I took this message, and it was till date, I carry this, I look into it, and I still these words and his expressions come back as a flashback memory whenever I'm stuck. So, this book is for anybody who is who has committed himself to this path of joy. It is a path of excellence. The excellence in whatever you do has very little to do with anybody else in the profession, anybody else in the art that you're following, but it is merely got to do with you, with your own conditioning, with your own beliefs, and how you will struggle with these to experience that joy, that ultimate pinnacle of uh, of the only word that comes to me is joy or bliss or whatever you want to talk, where you are completely shut to everything that's happening around you and completely into what you are doing. And this book has been a guide where Geet Sethi is sharing his journey and the journey of many of the champion sports people, of how they have dealt with their ego, how they have dealt with their limitations, their shortcomings, and more importantly, their mind. So, anyone who is committed to this path of joy, you will get to know that success is merely an end result of joy. It is bound to follow, it just cannot not follow. And this book will inculcate this trust. So, for my young listeners, homeopaths, non homeopaths, this book is something you can buy on Kindle. It's costing even less than 100 rupees. I just purchased that Kindle copy just a couple of days back. But this is something that I have read through, put in my comments, and I'm pretty surprised to read my comments that I had put several years back, how relevant they were then, and how I am able to go get over a good number of them after so many years of practice, so many years of watching myself and staying in the groove. So do enjoy, do read this book on the Kindle, or if you can get a second-hand copy somewhere, it's worth buying, worth putting your time. So enjoy, do subscribe to this channel, keep sharing this video.